Good morning, you guys. We've got a little bit of a rainy day here, and I potted up a bunch of containers for the Zen garden, and I just wanted to quickly show you guys what's going on here because I can't believe how much changes in this garden, like by the day. So since I did a garden tour last week, my elderberry was not blooming. I always wanted to plant one of these in my former garden, but I just didn't have the room for it. Look at that beautiful lacy foliage. Isn't that something? And I'm loving the dainty flowers. And it's growing a little lopsided. I think this side gets a little more sun than this side. But what a beautiful shrub. I mean, if you have some room, I highly recommend it. And one of the things that I think is important for a garden is to have that structure and bones with some ornamental trees and shrubs, as opposed to just having perennials. Years ago, I love flowers and blooms, don't get me wrong, but I really think a garden needs structure with shrubs and trees. And I love what they did here at this house. Before we bought it in fall, I kind of knew a lot of this stuff was here. Well, actually, I didn't know this elderberry was here. I actually wasn't sure what it was because it was just, it was late fall. So I couldn't tell what it was, but I knew there was a lot of specimen shrubs and trees here. I just had no idea how amazing it would be. So this has really just been fun. But anyway, I had done these containers here. I shared it a little while ago here on YouTube with some ranunculus, pansies, and some other little goodies. But I just swapped it out for some lemongrass because they help repel mosquitoes, and we're out here a lot at night. And I did some gorgeous geraniums and some coleus and sweet potato vines and superwave petunias, bubblegum pink. I've got some ephorbia in here and some bacopa. And I kept telling myself that I was gonna do containers back here and just stick to one variety of plant per container, but I didn't do that. So anyway, this is the pond garden and we love it. It is not stacked with fish yet, but I can tell you that there are a bunch of frogs. We have a lot of frogs here. We have a lot of frogs in the front pond and we have a lot of frogs in the back pond. Actually, for a while, I thought we only had one, but apparently we have a little family here. Oh look, speaking of which, there's one right now, there's baby. So anyway, we've got some hostas going around the pond. I do want to add some smaller containers with some flowers because at some point that rhododendron back there, which is truly, truly beautiful right now, is going to stop blooming and it's just going to look green. And as I've mentioned before, I love flowers. So I've got to get a little bit of color up there because even when the hostas bloom, they don't last that long either. So there's a lot of hardscaping here, and that's pretty typical for a Zen garden is to have, hardscaping. Actually, water is not traditional, but, in today's society, to me, Zen means anything that relaxes the mind and the spirit, and soothing water. The relaxing sounds of soothing water certainly does that, am I right? Do you guys have a pond? If you do, let me know in the comments. I'm interested to hear. I've never had a pond before, so this is all new to me. I enjoy coming out here and listening to the water. I enjoy taking care of the pond. It's really a lot of fun. So I also just swapped out these containers over here. I've got a gorgeous coleus. Look at that foliage. Isn't that beautiful? I love the colors. And then I've got Sunbelievable Helianthus with some bacopa. This one was in my pool garden and it wasn't doing so well. It got crowded out by some hostas that I didn't know were there. So I just took it out and put it in this pot and hope it kind of bounces back. Got some more coleus in this container with some licorice plant and another gorgeous sweet potato vine. And I found this beautiful chartreuse coleus too. I am all about foliage. I love blooms, but foliage, is second best. Again, some more euphorbia, just to kind of get that light and airy look. And now that this is done, I'm really thinking to myself, why didn't you just do like one plant in this container, but I don't know, I couldn't help myself. And there's my dog. Coda, can we stop eating? Please? No, no, no. No, no, you don't eat the lemongrass. Apparently lemongrass is not dog resistant. Okay, you gotta leave that alone. Again, I wanted to kind of mimic what I had going on in the other container to pull it over on this side of the bed. Will you leave that alone? You need to leave that alone. I love the color on this geranium, don't you? Did you guys know you could overwinter geraniums? You can. It's not hard to do. They do get a little leggy, so you got to cut them back later in the season, but I'll have to do like a whole blog post on it at some point. It's really not hard to do, and you can save them for the following year and save some money. Again, I got some calibroca, some coleus, some licorice plant that I had planted in spring. That's why it looks a little more, looks a little larger than everything else right now. And then I've got some lemongrass, which obviously my dog loves. And then over here is a European larch. As you can see, it's got a lot of new growth on it. That's what the color variation is here in the tips. Really, really beautiful plant. It does lose its foliage in winter. I had no idea what it was all winter long because it was just like a bunch of weeping sticks. But really beautiful specimen plant, and we love it. And then over here, I've got my colocasia elephant ears. These I actually had at the old house, and before we moved, I just put the whole pot in the basement. I took out all the other annuals, kept the elephant ears in, and just moved the whole pot to the basement. And wound up just, you know, putting it here in my sunroom, and it made it. So I'm gonna probably keep them going all year round and just move it into the sunroom. But look at those leaves. Isn't that something? I just love the heart shape. So it's a little full in this container with just the elephant ears. So I just kind of tucked in some superwave bubblegum pink petunias, some sweet potato vine, bacopa, and some ephorbia, just to get a little light and airy look. And it doesn't look like much right now, but you know, come midsummer, it'll fill in, and that base around those elephant ears will look pretty good. And then I am still adding more containers, but I'm loving the look. I love the pinks. The pinks here are just really striking, particularly with the green fence. And I'm noticing that the way they designed their gardens, there's a lot of pink here. So it's kind of just fun to go with that. But again, I've got another elephant ear container. Again, this time I added some coleus, and again with the superwave petunias, and I think there was another one popping up in there, so I didn't plant something there. I had a little trouble digging in. So this will eventually all fill in, especially with the trailer plants. I really like the trailer plants in containers with colocasia because it does fill in around the base, and again, might not look like much right now, but in like another month or so, it's gonna look amazing. Again, I've got Helianthus Sunbelievable. Those are so pretty, aren't they? I love how cheery they look. And when I saw them at the nursery when I bought them like a month ago, I just knew I had to have them. You do need to deadhead them though. I gotta get out here and do that. Again, some more coleus. I don't know, I'm into the coleus this year. I went to the nursery, saw all these different varieties, and I just decided I'm doing containers with them. So I'll have to look up what all the varieties are, and I'll just put them in the description for you. These are, again, the geraniums. I love this pink, and I thought that the pink went really well, was really striking with the foliage on this one. And then to balance it out, I've got some superwave pink petunias, these beautiful sweet potato vines with chartreuse foliage. And I'm just hoping I don't have groundhogs back here. There is like a chicken wire going around the base of the fencing. So hopefully it won't get in, because at my last house, groundhogs would decimate my sweet potato vine, and in the backyard here is the only place I'm planting it, because I've been figuring it can't get in, but I won't know until I try. Then I did another small container over here with bacopa, superwave petunia, bubblegum pink. And again, the Coleus names are just escaping me. I will have to let you know. And then again, I got 2 more containers, and same stuff. I'm just thinking, I love them. And I really was trying to restrain myself and do one type of plant per container and like do like a deconstructed look, but I just love designing containers, and so this is what I did. So I have a couple other containers, so I think I'm going to do more of a deconstructed look with those and put some more in this garden. I would eventually love to put a little Buddha statue here, but you know, there's only so much you can do when you first move into a home. So then we got some boxwoods over here, and just above the stone wall, we've got this beautiful statue. And I don't know, I know you guys have seen it before, but we've got that koi tree sculpture, which is really my favorite in on this whole property. I mean, it's just amazing that somebody made that. Then I've got some peonies over here. They're just starting to bloom. I had those at my former house, and I'm really glad that they're here because it's just such a pretty pink. We've got some irises blooming along the way. And what else is blooming over here? I've got some vinca, some more irises. Just as an aside, this is our chill place where we kind of hang out every night and decompress after a long day. The glass top did finally arrive from Wayfair. Thank you very much. The first one arrived shattered, and they were really good about getting us the glass tabletop. So now we have that. But this is a great little set because most of the time it's my husband and I, but when the girls are home, they come out here and hang out with us, and it's just such a nice place to hang, really, because, I mean, right? So originally I thought I would be able to put a bunch of houseplants out here and really fill in the hardscaping and soften the lines a little bit with my houseplants, but it gets a little too much sun back here, and it's just not worth risking damaging them. So I really got to find like a shadier spot for them. But I'm really loving the flowers. It really makes it, you know, come alive, adds a little bit more character. I'm going to add some more over time, but just kind of wanted to show you how it's coming along right now. Thanks so much for joining me today. I'm Stacy from Bricks and Blooms. Enjoy a beautiful day.